Still broadcasting from the Civic Cypher Studios. This is the QR Code, where we share perspective, seek understanding, and shape outcomes. The man you are about to hear from is a man who, for the first time ever, I've seen not have enough juice in his throat. He is the Q in the QR Code. He goes by the name of Q Ward.
I'm not going to address how crazy what Ramses just said sounds.
Oh, it does sound crazy.
On the airway, that sounds
I'm sorry.
Crazy.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize.
I just need some agua. That's all.
It's an inside joke.
What he just said sounds insane.
It's an inside. It's a long time.
But he is the R in the QR code, and he does go by the name Ramses Ja.
Oh, so sorry about that. All right, we need you to stick around a little later on in the show. Tennessee representative wants a probe into the Bad Bunny performance. That's for our entertainment segment. Prior to that, we're going to have some dialogue. When you want to give up, what keeps you going? But right now, it's time for Q Ward's Clapback, when the monster is yours. Q?
Far too often, Rams, we have to have very uncomfortable conversations on this show. It's just the nature of what we do, unfortunately. We don't have a fun pop culture gossip news entertainment show. We have a real life, real issues, real connected to the people platform here. And the uncomfortable part about today's conversation is that for years, we heard certain corners of the political world tell us that the Epstein files were the ultimate proof, the smoking gun, if you will, the nail in the coffin. The evidence that would expose the elites, this dark underworld, this cabal of evil. They said it was the darkest thing possible. They urged the prior administration to release said files while an active investigation was going on, which is what made that very difficult to do. They said this would bring everything down. But it's important to note that by everything, they meant President Biden and his administration and the left. Until we started seeing names. Until they started drip feeding us these files that they were supposed to have delivered almost 2 months ago. That's what the law said. That's what a bipartisan bill said. And now, silence, shrugs. To say that they're complicit wouldn't be saying enough. I think we saw the Attorney General say that there was no evidence that the man whose name is mentioned a million times had done anything wrong. You know, now everybody knew Epstein. You know, he was just popular, and there's nothing to see here. Which is confusing because 2 years ago, this was the apocalypse. Like, this was the thing that was going to bring them all down. And ironically, what we're seeing now, Rams, is not new evidence. It's new to us because they're just now making it so that we can see it. But the people in charge, the lawmakers, the people who are supposed to bring criminals to justice, they've seen this information. They helped redact it. Our Federal Bureau of Investigation and our Department of Justice helped draw over the names, black over the names of people that they want to protect, while somehow forgetting to do that for the actual victims. Imagine that, a world where the victims' names are there, but those who caused them harm, redacted. For people who have built their worldview around we are the good ones and they are the evil ones, when evidence comes out that flips that narrative on its head, well, their entire internal infrastructure collapses. Our brains don't like structural infrastructure collapse. So instead of updating their beliefs and changing when presented with new evidence, their brains protect themselves. And that protection looks like minimizing, making it seem like it's not that big of a deal, or deflecting. You know, what we've seen a lot recently, and if you haven't seen this yet, you'll start to see it. You know what? We just need to bring the whole thing down. Now it's all wrong, which could be true, which is most likely true because we're watching this system fail us monumentally. But these people have not now turned righteous. It's just that their guy is at the center of it. So it can't just be him. Now it has to be the whole thing is wrong. And I wish they really meant that, right? Because you and I, not joke, but talk about the lack of I told you so. We can't get that off. Even though we said all of this was going to happen, we can't get that off because it feels awful. Yeah. It's not a win.
Yeah.
You think they would be celebrating their win. People been calling you tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists for 10 years. Because you've been telling us, you've been telling me, you've been telling Ramses, hey, these Epstein files, man, they got some dark things in there. They're not just assaulting and raping, but they're killing children. But when you said elites, you only imagined certain people. And now that the evidence is overwhelmingly your people, instead of standing up like, yeah, we told y'all, you now have to backpedal to, well, you know, man, I don't know why everybody's acting like this Epstein thing is such a big deal. And, you know, let's just fix the whole system so that no person can be accountable, so that no person can be the target of our disdain, of our disgust. All of a sudden, it's the whole system. For years, these files were framed as a reckoning. They're now treating us and the files like some sort of inconvenience. And as I've said before, this is not about left or right. This is about what happens when tribe outranks truth. When winning and owning the left matters more than accountability. When defeating the other side matters more than protecting the vulnerable. That is not strength. That is moral retreat. When the monster belonged to the enemy, it was a rallying cry. They couldn't wait to burn the whole thing down. When the monster looks like it might be yours, now this is just a wacky conspiracy theory that the left created. Unfortunately, that tells you everything that you need to know, man. I just said it a few minutes ago. They are in a cult.
You know, the thing about this, well, because we're at this level in our careers, we can choose, with the help of Chris, what it is we cover, what it is we don't cover. And you know, and Chris knows, I don't like talking about this sort of stuff. It's like the darkest, most stomach turning thing possible. So I get a lot of information when you do these deep dives. And then of course we did that one show where we had to talk about all the Republicans that they have a sexual attraction to children. You and I are both fathers of young children, and I don't like this stuff. Okay, let's move on. Let's have some dialogue. When you want to give up, what keeps you going? What a transition, man. You want to go first here?
Sure, because it's going to be some of what people have heard from me before. There is a picture hanging in my hallway in my home now. And I promised people I was going to post this to our page last time, and I didn't. I forgot to post some of these things.
Oh, so you
when we had these stories. So I'll make sure that we get that up either this week or next, or just follow us and keep locked in. I'll make sure to share these photos. And it's me holding my baby boy with a massive smile on my face. Grayson Anthony Villaflor and Aiko Estela Villaflor. Mm-hmm. Are why quitting is not an option for me. So the idea that something like keeps me going when I think I want to quit, I don't get to think I want to quit. You know, I spoke about being a failure on this show before. And that's still something that I am having trouble reconciling. I have not yet built a life that insulates my children from this world that we've allowed to erect itself around them. We weren't loud enough. We didn't do enough. Our message didn't reach far enough for people to not elect one of the most violent, corrupt, and evil people in the history of Earth. And I'm not being hyperbolic. I have enough evidence to say that now. Challenge me if you want. Bring me some evidence to the contrary. I don't get to quit because they need their dad. When I say my family, that's their mother and them forever. So everything that they need, it is my job to provide safety, shelter, food, resources, education, access. I want to quit all the time. That is just not an option for me. Even once they're old enough to be considered adults and should be on their own and should not need assistance from dad, please understand that they will always have that. And I don't care your view of my parenting style. I don't care that you think that at 18 that kids should be kicked out of the house and left to fend for themselves. Not around here. As long as there is a door and a residence at some place that has my name on it, they will always have a place. They will always have shelter. They will always have protection. They will always have somebody fighting for them as long as my lungs, my heart, and my brain still work. So yeah, quitting is not something that I can even consider, even when it feels that way, even when my body, my heart, and my mind don't feel like continuing, because we're trapped under what feels like constant despair now. Constant. There's no relief. You and I get encouraged by people all the time. Just turn it off. Just unplug like we could. My babies, man. That's it. That's my keep going.
Let me tell you this. I think that that's going to be true for a lot of men. But you have a way of articulating it. You, respectfully, my brother, I see you are the most romanticized. Like when you think of a man in the most romantic sense, and I don't mean romantic like attractive, but like think of the most rosy language that you could use to try to articulate what it is a man is and is supposed to be. I think that you embody that and you share that, right? Like uplifting language is probably a term that more people would be familiar with. And obviously I see you live that every day. And I would imagine there's a lot of men that they have that as their reason, because, you know, we both have had to look at suicide rates. You remember we did the mental health summit in Manhattan a couple years ago with the Ad Council and the Huntsman Agency and Charlemagne and everybody was there. So we had to get the data together, and we saw like suicide rates of men, young men, versus, you know, women, you know, how much your income is, that, you know, all this sort of stuff. We got to comb through all that data. And so I realized in that moment that men are hurting a lot, and men don't feel like they have a lot of value, and they feel like they're failing and they're falling behind. And to a lot of men, unfortunately, it feels like I'd rather be nothing than be here. I'd rather be nothing than continue to let people down. I'd rather be nothing than to be in pain, to feel like I'm not enough. And so I think bringing people into that kind of helps the people that might be experiencing something like that feel like they're not alone, and the people that aren't experiencing something like that know that that's a reality. And again, you have the capacity to articulate that, and you being a man in the most romantic sense of the word, I think that a person could look to you and there's no holes, there's no flaws. I mean, I know there's flaws, but you know what I mean in terms of the explanation. Do you meet the requirements for this role? And I think that I'm inclined to agree. My children are a little different, because my children, it'll sound weird, but my children like includes my little sisters.
That doesn't sound weird at all. I don't think that's unique to you.
Thank you.
Lot of my sister definitely considers me one of hers.
Okay, yeah, I know, and she told me that too. But yeah, my little sisters and my little brother, they're like my children too. And you told me in a conversation recently, you said that, Ramses, I know you live your life as though any day could be your last. And that's not wise and that's not prudent, because you're better here with the people that need you than you are a memory to those people. I think effectually that's what you communicated to me. And it doesn't matter how much life insurance you have or whatever, you need to consider these people that threaten you in the comments or whatever. You need to take that stuff seriously, because you matter and you're valuable to people. I appreciate you pouring that into me. But yeah, when I look at, my family and then by extension, my friends, because I'm a very, very loyal person. That's the one thing, like I'm not into the what is it when the stars and the whatever tell you what day you're born and you're a crab or you're a scorpion or something.
Yeah, me all neither. Of that. Horoscopes.
That's it. I'm not into that stuff, but I'm a Leo, and they say Leos are really loyal, and I think that I'm a really loyal person. I think anybody would agree. I don't know how to not be that way. But the people that I am loyal to, they get really close to me. It's really hard for me to let them go. I love them like with my whole heart. And so I try to take care of them. And then when I have responsibility, like you, a man in the most romantic sense, I try to meet my responsibilities. And for these past 6 years, my responsibility has been to create Civic Cypher, to create the QR code, and to give people insight into this perspective to create better, stronger allies around the country, so that all of our people have a better go at this great American experiment that we're, supposed to be performing here. And when I want to give up, I realize how many people have invested and continue to count on me to keep showing up. And so maybe that's my why. All right. Let's close it out. Entertainment. Tennessee representative wants probe into Bad Bunny performance. Okay. This is a story about, well, it's not about liberal snowflakes. It's about fake conservative outrage. All right, let's get into it. This from Time Magazine. Representative Andy Ogles, a Republican from Tennessee, posted on X on Monday evening a letter addressed to the House Energy and Commerce Committee, in which he calls for an immediate inquiry into the National Football League and broadcaster NBC Universal over their prior knowledge, review, and approval of what he alleged to be a, quote, performance dominated by sexually explicit lyrical themes and suggestive choreography, unquote. In his post, Ogles calls the halftime show pure smut and claimed that it featured, quote, explicit displays of gay sexual acts, women gyrating provocatively, and Bad Bunny shamelessly grabbing his crotch while dry humping the air, unquote. And that the singer's mostly Spanish language lyrics openly glorified sodomy and countless other unspeakable depravities, unquote. The Tennessee lawmaker, whom Trump has previously called a conservative warrior, argued in his letter to the House committee that songs in Bad Bunny's set included Zafarera, I think that's how I say it, Zafarera, Yo Perrero Sola, those were the two, included references to sexual content that would be, quote, readily apparent across any language barrier, unquote. Okay, so one thing I know is that Bad Bunny kind of edited it wasn't like a Bad Bunny concert. He realized it's the Super Bowl, people watching, his family's watching all over the country, so he edited his lyrics. So that's not a real thing. The Spanish language stuff, I'm sick of everybody talking about Spanish language, especially the people that tuned into Kid Rock, say ba with the ba, da bang, boogie to the boogie, something up, jump the boogie, because that's not any language. Spanish is an actual language. It's existed for thousands of years. People speak it. And when you can speak another language, it expands your capacity for thought, complex thought. Okay? So Spanish in and of itself isn't a bad thing. My grandmother spoke Spanish. There's a lady that came here from Cuba.
A very large percentage of people on
Earth speak Spanish.
Yeah. As first language.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people in this country that speak Spanish, and even more people that dance to Spanish language music. Trust me on this one, because I'm a DJ who's DJ'd all over the earth. And I haven't been to a place yet where I can't drop some Elvis Crespo, suavemente, besame, and everybody's with it. Okay?
It works in every room.
Everywhere.
Like, that's not even the party that we're at, bro.
It doesn't matter.
We're not at that party. It works.
It's gonna work.
They don't know they want it. I've pulled people to the DJ booth to say this before. Watch what's about to happen. They don't even know.
Talk to them.
They don't even know they want this.
Oh my God.
As a matter of fact, they might be confused when it first dropped, but then watch. I know what they want. I do this. I know what's best for you people. You want this Elvis Crespo.
You want this Celia Cruz.
You want it.
You want it. You need it.
Desperately, you need it. And you didn't even know.
Oh, that's what I'm here for. Hey, we do this for real. It's not a game. Watch.
They don't even know.
Watch. Oh, I love it. Okay. All right. What else is he saying? Gay sexual acts. Okay. If by that you mean dancing.
If by that he means dancing. Like,
yeah.
There's nothing to see here.
Yeah. So you saw the whole thing that everyone else saw.
Let me tell you something. For years, there's been a semi-delay on live performances on television.
Okay.
Right? So they're kind of live.
Okay.
Just in case something happens.
They do that with radio too, yeah.
Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson very famously or infamously had a quote-unquote wardrobe malfunction on stage, where Janet Jackson was left exposed in a way. They never want something like that to happen again. Now, they turned that into scandal when it shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Right? We've seen worse. But they don't even want performative pretend scandal. Not that league. That league took end racism off their field because it might offend someone. Not that league, right? That's the funny thing about all of this. All of these people accusing the NFL of being in cahoots with the left to re-own them. Like, yeah, right. The NFL.
DEI hire Jay-Z?
The NFL, who ended Colin Kaepernick's career because he said out loud that law enforcement killing unarmed black people was wrong. He was exiled for that by this league. So that league is the league you think is letting smut onto their airwaves? You think they watched the show, saw any of the things that you described and said, yeah, let him get that off? Yeah, right. So this is, as is everything Republicans do these days, racist, xenophobic, dog whistling, anti-brown, anti-black, anti-LGBTQIA+, over and over again. And every single accusation is a confession. So don't be surprised when you see the names of people with R's next to them show up in cases that are very similar to the things that they are accusing others of doing. I'll be that vague. But we've done the research and we've talked about it disgustingly on microphones.
Over and over again. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. And that's the thing, man. If there was a problem, the problem is inside their house. Literally, inside their house of representative, the Tennessee State House. Because we've talked about a number of folks from Tennessee that got hemmed up on some. They weren't even trumped up charges.
Not even on no trumped up charges.
It was
on
accurate,
some real, regular, authentic charges.
Accurate.
Oh, you actually did that?
Yeah, with some kids, fam. But again, this fake outrage, how a person can take that performance and turn it into anything other than a celebration of the Americas, all of them, including the United States of America. There was a big American flag up front. I saw it. And a celebration of Puerto Rico, which Puerto Rico deserved a long time ago. Jennifer Lopez, a lot of the Puerto Ricans that came before Bad Bunny, they were the people that set the stage, broke the barriers, this, that, and the third, whatever they did. And Bad Bunny could really show up for that island, which is a part of the United States of America.
I don't mean to disrespect Rams. That's why you're talking.
You back in
but
the moment.
Suavemente been playing in my head since he said it.
I see it.
I can't even stop dancing, and I'm mad. Like, I'm mad at this nonsense, but you can't shake off this song.
Well, I know that folks out there are coming across stuff like this. You see stuff like this, and you don't know what to make of it. Stay strong, stay vigilant. We realize that this is a nothing burger. The reason why we even picked this story is because we realize that you might, on your own path, have a bunch of nothing burgers where in the moment it feels like a big deal, and in 3 months' time you'll be like, you wouldn't even remember it. Or if you do, you'll be like, wonder what happened with that. Nothing happened. Nothing came of it. Bad Bunny is a fantastic American showing love to his state for all intents and purposes. Tupac had California Love. Jay-Z and Alicia Keys had wasn't New York State of Mind. It was what's the name of their song?
Empire State
of Mind. That was it. Nas is New York State of Mind. And there's been people that have made songs about every single state. Country Roads Take Me Home. Motown. So if you see these people, if you encounter these people, just know that this is them flailing to try to find something to be mad at because they feel like they're left out. They look at the numbers, they look at the data, they realize they're on the losing side. Even though they might feel a little up at times, they're on the losing side.
I miss the days when things like this would have been treated like they were ridiculous by serious lawmakers, but here we are.
Yeah, and he's probably going to try, but he won't get far. So that's not something you need to worry about. Stay strong in the field. Great warriors, great allies. Just know we're here to ensure that you don't succumb to the self-defeating thought, am I crazy? We all suffer from it sometimes, but you're not crazy, I promise. But we're going to leave it right there. That's going to do it for us here at the QR Code. Today's show, as always, was produced by Chris Thompson. If you have some thoughts you'd like to share, do us a favor, use the red microphone talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. And while you're there, be sure to hit subscribe and download all of our episodes. Also, be sure to check us out on all social media. You can find us at Civic Cypher. That is CIVIC, I'm your host, Ramses Ja, on all social media.
I am Q Ward. Find me on Civic Cypher, man.
Yeah, that is, again, CIVIC, Do us a favor, hit the YouTube as well. We're trying to grow to YouTube and we try to grow to Instagram. So again, Civic Cypher, find us and join us next time as we share our news with our voice from our perspective right here on the QR Code. And until then, peace.